Dear diarrhea, diarrhea full of shit. Just play along, me, myself, and I, and no one else. Yo, yo, I'm so legit. Remember, I told you I found this rock that looks like a penis, or maybe a nose, or whatever. Well, look, I found its mate. Sometimes things are just meant to be. But anyway, that's all I had to say, baby. Hey, hey, yay, yay. Oh, no, it is not. I just remembered something. I was watching me some YouTube videos this lovely, glorious morning. It's a great day to be alive. For reals. Why do I feel funny? Is it supposed, am I supposed to vomit every morning? I've gotten used to it. I'm just teasing. I used to say that shit. But is this what love feels like? I love it and I hate it at the same time. Hot, hot. Anyway, almost sounds legit, doesn't it? Trust me, I make it all up. But watching some YouTube videos and man, what? Oh, the movie Get Short with Steve Carell. I saw that movie a long time ago, and he asked this girl to dance, and she's like, I don't think so. Get the last, you lose, or whatever she says. And there. And he's all, I'm not talking to you. And this, fat girl's like, and he's like, yeah. And they go out there and they get in this contest with like this other couple. And it just popped up, and I clicked on it because I thought, now here's an opportunity, to throw Fatty McFatfuck under the bus, because everybody hates fat people. They don't have any feelings. They're fat, So, fuck you, But that one girl, she's very attractive. I like her haircut. I like that haircut a lot. And the dude kind of reminds me of the Gweed. I know it sounds weird that I'm talking about him. Mrs. Butthead's hubby bear. Her plan B. Gotta lock that shit down, man. Don't want to pass this up waiting for my number one, So I'm gonna, that's what she does. She's fucked and dated and fucked some creatures. I've seen it. Company doorknob. Everybody's had their turn. I'm not joking. You fucking different departments. Truck drivers, security guards, truck drivers at different locations. And maybe I'm all wrong about this. If she's listening in or whatever, which I'm sure she is, hanging on every word. Her and Kleber both, because Kleber's like, yeah, hoes before bros, I'm faithful to, the sisterhood, but, ooh, I wouldn't mind getting my hands on you. And she's weird, she used to date this old dude, like old dude. I swear to God, I'm not trying to be funny. When I was stalking her, like a pathetic bitch. Just whatever it is, what it is. Like I said, I wasn't for a long time, and then I was like, you know what, I'll just do this, and hey, that looks like her, and and I thought she had kids, and turns out she was just like renting a closet with some, I don't know who those people were, but there were kids in her life. So she's tasted the fruit, and now she wants kids so bad. So, bunch of little Gweed butt faces running around, but all posing and shit, once they get out of diaper age, they'll just be walking around in Speedos. And that'll probably be the Gweed's idea. And Mrs. Butthead, well, she does the same shit. She takes her pants off in public. Leaves her shirt on, but the top, she was in a river with her coat on and no pants. I mean, she had her thongy thong on, and it didn't look good, and her ass cheeks were not very shapely, and she wasn't smuggling pumpkins. She was just transporting them, across the river. And that's just what's up with that. But and she does that a lot. Just takes her pants off and walks around. Hang on, I gotta blow on this. So, yeah, they are. They're kind of like this, you know, European type shit, you know. You go to a foreign land and it's like all the women are walking around topless and all the dudes are walking around speedos. What the fuck's going on? Is that Fabio? No, that's just some average dude. Okay. But anyway, he's got that weird look, you know. That's kind of what the Gweed looks like, you know. It's like, for someone like Mrs. Butthead, you know, it's like, oh, you know, the best thing she's ever had. But still, you know, it's like, you know, for a Greek god, you must have been the runt. But anyway. But your family, every Thanksgiving, you know, there's all the, you know, other Greek gods. There's the Gweed with his fugly duckling wife. Ma, I met a girl. She's gonna give you grandbabies. Yeah. But and Ma's like, oh, that's lovely, because she's looking at the Gweed, or she's looking at the Gweed. She's looking at Mrs. Butthead, and she's like, oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. My baby boy, the runt of the family, finally found love, you know, kind of like my future wife. Katie Boo. Did you forget my name? No. But anyway, or the bad guy in John Wick, I don't remember which one, but the guy who's like duck fat makes all the difference. You know, or what's his name? Joaquin Phoenix or whatever. You know, like in the movie Gladiator, he's just got this weird look. You know, it's like this individual is dark. So that's kind of what the Gweed looks like. You know, it's like, okay. And especially when you put aviator shades on him. Oh, shit, do some of that pilot shit, man. Stick jockey. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Full thrust. Right rudder. Then left, then right. Then move the stick round and round. 9 G's. Full afterburner. But can't even really turn that fast. I forget what it's called, like a slip or something. It's a technique, you know, for like modern fighters. I think I heard there's this guy. His name's like Hazard Lee. I listen to him. I also listen to well, I haven't listened to him in a while. Ward Carroll. He was the real backseat guy. He's very smart. And an F-14 Tomcat, the coolest jet ever, in my opinion. It just is. So it just looks. It's a big airplane. It's just got the appeal. You know, the F-15 looks the same. You know, it's like a twin tail, and I think it actually flies higher and faster and whatnot. But and it's cool because the F-14 was designed to be flown by 2 people. You know, it's like if the bat guy, you know, gets shot or whatever, you know, then it's like that airplane doesn't function anymore. Like he can't track all of his targets and shit. I don't know. So whatever. Anyway, but yeah, that's something where if you're coming in too fast, you know, you can't really. Anyway, it's interesting, you know. I don't think it's the same as a dog fight in WW2, you know, cranking and banking and reeling them in and just all the technique for that. You know, getting him to turn, and you know, it depends on if you're the guy doing the shooting or the guy getting shot at, and there's your wingman and other airplanes in the air, and I don't know, you're watching your instruments, just scanning, watching your, okay, we just dropped, 1,000 feet or whatever. I don't know if those things were fuel injected, carbureted, because that's going to affect things, right? If you're cranking too many G's, if your engine cuts out, then what? Your propeller, the feather it so it's still spinning. What do? Like, is your engine still spinning? You just need to get the spark back. So, boom, all right, we're back live, or do you have to get that thing cranking? But because that's the thing. Like cars that are 1974 or older that don't have catalytic converters. Even if you've got a liquid torque converter, it's an automatic or whatever configuration you got, or if it's a clutch, turn the key off, but don't turn it completely off, so the engine's still spinning and oil's still pumping and whatnot. But you're loading the fuel, unburned fuel, through the pistons into the exhaust, and then when you turn the key back on, you got fire, and then the pistons that are on the exhaust stroke, that fire goes out into the exhaust manifold or headers or whatever, ignites all that gas in the system, and you get a big loud backfire, about like a 2-foot flame shoots out the exhaust. So I used to do that in my dad's truck. I'd turn it off, pull up to the stoplight, and before I stopped rolling, turn the key back on, and boom, big loud backfire, and the big flames would shoot out the side. And my dad actually said, "You got to stop doing that," because the mufflers were blowed up, so they were round, instead of the oval they're supposed to be. So, but it's kind of a neat trick. Anyway, I'm digressing. I'm at 12 minutes in. So the Gweed, I talk that shit, and clearly he does come from the mountaintops of somewhere. But yeah, he's the trash, that was left over, Papa Bear was drunk and Mama Bear was on drugs the night he was conceived. But it had been for the previous 3 months. But and he was a happy little accident. He wasn't even supposed to be, And there's Mrs. Butthead, probably the same shit. Oh, she's our special little angel, our gift, which wasn't even planned. Right, must be destiny. They found each other. Those two pieces of garbage, but good for them. Everybody deserves love. No, some people don't deserve it. Some people do, like Katie Boo, for example. Why does she not have a man? Is she insufferable? Does she have a personality quirk that is just too much to take? Is she, neurotic and nervous, and is she just a pain in the ass? Maybe she just needs someone to hold her, calm her down, guide her, train her, and set her up for success, on her own. But don't be cheesy about it. Believe in yourself. You're good enough. No, just talk to her. It's hard for me to explain and come up with examples because I just make shit up, but have it be reasonable and rational, and you want to try and keep her out of it as a personal thing. Kind of like the term, child's play, it's like, this is, man, you got to be careful. It depends. You got to read her personality, right? Some people, need to feel like it's them conquering things. Other people, it's like, dude, I'm not a child. I just can't do this. So for that person, you need to kind of instill things like, yeah, you're just not understanding this. Nah, it's real simple, really. Yeah. Or, like I said, but then that might, it's so simple, how come I don't understand it? People learn things differently. Maybe give an example like, I'm great at this, but I suck at that, man. I can walk real good, but I can't walk and chew gum at the same time real good. What's up with that? I see lots of people that can walk and chew gum real good. I can't do it for some reason. But, whatever, So if you're in a relationship with someone, you're going to pick up on those things and blah, 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 blah. So, boy, I should be like some sort of leader. I should give speeches and shit. Yeah, maybe that'll be my new gig. I'll be an online guru. Yeah, give me your money. I'll tell you what to do. Fill out this questionnaire so I know your personality. And I will tell you how to succeed. What is it you're looking for out of life, son? Oh, love, yeah. Everybody wants that. Success, yeah. That. Money, respect, power. Oh, yeah. Yeah, all the standard stuff. All right, I'll fill out this questionnaire. And be honest, because I can't help you if you lie to me. That'll be $553.78. The program takes about 3 months. That's a month, by the way. So roughly $1,500. And I will make you the man that you were born to be, that you could be, that you want to be, that you can be. You just need a little bit of direction. That's all. I'm your guy. So, anyway. So that popped up. And then I thought the fat girl, it would be funny if she was played by John Candy, who died like from a heart attack because he was a fat boy a long time ago. And shit, sure enough, a suggestion popped up for the movie Armed and Dangerous, which is an old movie. Like that Get Short, I think, came out like in the early 2000s or something like that. Maybe it was the late 90s. Armed and Dangerous came out in like 1986, I think it said, right? And it's got John Candy in it. So it's like, ooh, what's happening, Yeah. And let's see, where did I post those? I think I posted them in Nostalgia 2. Because I don't know what happened to the first Nostalgia. I accidentally deleted it or something. Self-driving crypto, I don't know. But I decided to put that in Nostalgia 2 for 2 reasons. 18 minutes, wow. Because it's an old movie, so that in and of itself is nostalgia. And it's representing nostalgic times. So, first of all, it popped up as a suggestion, Flying Leathernecks, which had John Wayne in it. Like I said, if we have a son, his name is going to be Ollie. That's not negotiable. And like I said, he's going to watch John Wayne movies, The Munsters, The Andy Griffith Show. And I'm going to sit there with him, with him on my lap, and I'm going to like point things out. Like I'm going to actually pause the video, because babies ain't stupid. He's just looking at the screen. But I'm going to be like, now see that? That's the bad guy. That's Liberty Vance, right? See that? That's John Wayne. That's the good guy, right? That guy, he's the antagonist. And what antagonist means is he antagonizes people or whatever. I'll make sure I know what the hell I'm talking about. And all that stuff. Because the babies are listening, just like when you read to them when they're in the womb, and all that. And you think, it might not make much sense to them, but it does, and it will later. So, you might be thinking, well, gee, why not just let him watch the movie? Well, he can watch the movie again later when he's older. Because he won't remember him sitting on my lap and me reading to him or watching movies or, everything we do is going to be productive. There's going to be benefit to it. Like, gee, just watching TV, with your baby? No, much more. Watching John Wayne movies with my baby. Explaining what's going on, like the old westerns, you know, like see the bar fight, you know. Furniture really was made cheap back in those days, wasn't it? Chairs breaking, tables falling over, you know, lean up against the balcony, you know, the windows weren't worth shit, you know, a stiff breeze, you know, and just everything just disintegrates, you know, and just it's kind of funny, isn't it? You know, and the you know, the gunfights and whatnot, and you know, you got to be careful with that. But anyway, good stuff. And then the other one, American Graffiti, with it had Harrison Ford in it. I liked his car better. Sounded better, looked better. It's black. It's badass. Now cars back in those days, they weren't really all that in a bag of chips. They were heavy, you know. They sounded nice, you know, but they weren't really super, you know. They just weren't, you know. They probably ran the quarter mile in like, you know, 14, 15 seconds, you know, which was fast back in those days. But these days, you know, everything has zip. But so I posted that in there. But Richard Dreyfuss, the guy from Jaws, you know. And what about Bob? Cock-a-doodle-doo, Bob. Baby steps. Well, not literal baby steps. What's his name? Just takes literal baby steps everywhere. Hasn't even read the book. Just carries it around taking baby steps. That's not what it means. You know, and it's a good movie. So, just the look he gives, you know, where he's not saying anything, he's just looking at the camera. But the car that he drives, the Wolf Man, you know, there's a guy at a gas station this goes out to a little girl and a T-bird, you know, or whatever. And just, I don't know. But that must be fate because they were both made like in the 80s, and they were both, well, wait a minute. Yeah, the one was about WW2 with John Wayne, and it was made in the 80s. That was made in the 50s, I think, and it was about WW2. And the one was made in the 80s, but it was about a timeline in the 50s. So it's just whatever. So it's just, and you know, it just popped up, you know, so it must be fate. What else could it possibly be? So anyway, thinking about your baby girl. Blah, blah, blah. Also, this video, the audio presentation, it started out as just this. Me for you, you for me, always together, no matter the weather. Not necessarily, you know, just right? What are the odds? A dick and a vagina push. Funny thing. It's funny. And, you know, it ended up being this, so. It's meant to be. It's beautiful.